moon. Are you ready to shatter the biggest misconceptions about that silver sphere we all know, which illuminates the night? Why is it that we always see the same side of the moon? When we look up at the sky, that cratered face seems as if it is nailed there. It feels like it never moves, never rotates. Well, why does our satellite constantly strike the same pose for us while the Earth rotates around itself? This is actually a magnificent cosmic illusion that we all need to unravel. The moon's rotation and its secrets. Here, the answer to that grand illusion is hidden precisely within this concept: tidal locking. Look, contrary to popular belief, the moon absolutely rotates, and it does so magnificently around its own axis. But at the end of that long, grueling gravitational dance lasting billions of years, our Earth's massive gravitational pull slowed the moon down and locked it precisely to its orbital speed. In other words, while the moon completes one orbit around us, it simultaneously continues to rotate around itself with flawless, magnificent synchronization. And if you ask what the secret key to this wonderful synchronization is, it lies in this magical number. The moon completes one full rotation around its own axis in approximately 27.3 days. Guess how long one full orbit around the Earth takes? Yes, it is also exactly 27.3 days. Because these two durations match each other second for second, when we look from here, our satellite always turns that one familiar face toward us. And of course, this situation gives birth to a myth that we know very well in popular culture: the dark side of the moon. Scientifically speaking, however, this is entirely a huge myth. That other side we cannot see is actually not dark at all. Because the moon rotates just as much sunlight as the face we see receives. That invisible backside receives exactly the same amount of light. It is not dark there. It was simply a great unknown for us until the Soviet Luna 3 probe went and took its picture in 1959. When those photos arrived, scientists were practically shocked, because there was a massive geological difference between the two sides. While the side facing us consisted of a thin crust and flat maria where lava surfaced to fill craters, that famous other side looked like an absolute battlefield. Why? Because as the Earth and the Moon formed together, the terrifying heat radiated by the Earth pushed elements like aluminum to the far colder backside of the Moon. The crust there became so thick that when meteors struck, lava could not rise to the surface to cover those gashes. The result? A rugged backside full of scars, bruises, and meteorite impact marks. Well, let's set the secrets aside for now and look at why the moon is moving away. Exactly 3.8 centimeters every year, the moon is slowly escaping from us. Think of it like a spinning top that is slowing down. That massive bulk of the moon creates a tremendous tidal friction on our oceans, slowing down our Earth's rotation speed on a millisecond scale. In accordance with the law of conservation of angular momentum in physics, this momentum lost by the Earth is transferred to the moon. As a result, the moon drifts into an orbit about 4 centimeters further away from us each year. If we put physics aside and look at lunar soil, it could be both our greatest opportunity and our greatest danger. We call that strange structure you encounter when you step onto the surface regolith. There is no air, no water, no wind on the moon, meaning there are no natural phenomena in the sense we know. Instead, there are countless micrometeorites that have rained down on the surface like bullets for billions of years. These meteorites have relentlessly pulverized rocks, creating this jagged, shattered layer. Comparing this to soil on Earth would be an incredibly huge mistake. Please imagine right now that you are inhaling finely crushed microscopic shards of glass. Soil on Earth is a structure rolled by water and wind, full of life, soft and smooth. But moon dust is completely inorganic. Since it never erodes, it is like tiny saws, razor sharp, with an average size of 70 micrometers. It is truly a nightmarish material. It is not hard to understand why these little saws are the #1 enemy for space agencies. Moreover, because they are electrostatically charged, they do not come off from where they stick. During the Apollo missions, we saw firsthand how this dust tore astronauts' spacesuits to shreds, clogged machinery, and coated solar panels to drain energy. Even more terrifyingly, when astronauts inhale this, there is an extremely high risk of leaving permanent damage in the lungs, as if pierced by glass shards, namely pneumoconiosis. But that is precisely my favorite part of science. You can take your greatest nightmare and turn it into your greatest strength. This dangerous regolith is actually a gold mine of the future with the elements it contains, such as iron, titanium, and thorium. There is more. In labs on Earth, scientists are even testing growing plants in this inorganic sharp sand with the help of special polymer fertilizers. So, that frightening dust will become the farmland and the most fundamental building material for tomorrow's space colonies. So, will we go to the moon again despite these harsh conditions? Yes, we will go with a new project, the Artemis Return to the Moon project. This time, we are not going just to plant a flag and come back. Before you is the anatomy of that massive international mega project that will establish humanity permanently on the moon. At its center is the gigantic SLS rocket, the Orion spacecraft to carry the crew, the Gateway space station to serve as an orbital transfer hub, the human landing system to bring astronauts to the surface, and the brand new XEMU spacesuits that defy that deadly dust we just mentioned. They are all wonderful feats of engineering. 2,600. This number is not just a detail. This is the weight in tons of the Space Launch System, that giant SLS rocket on the launch pad. We are talking about a monster nearly 98 meters long and weighing thousands of tons. The most powerful launch system built since the legendary Saturn V. To launch humanity and so much heavy hardware into that deep space, this is exactly the kind of tremendous muscle power we need. This entire massive system will operate almost like a flawless space ballet. Look at how the process unfolds. Step 1 is a earth-shaking launch with the SLS rocket. In the second step, the Orion spacecraft safely carries the astronauts into deep lunar orbit. Step 3 is docking with the Gateway station, our home in lunar orbit. And in the finale, astronauts transfer to the Starship vehicle and descend to that crater-filled, targeted South Pole. Incredible, isn't it? And believe me, all of this is not a sci-fi movie. It is a reality with a set timeline. In November 2022, that uncrewed test flight was completed flawlessly with Artemis 1. And in April 2026, the Orion spacecraft carried astronauts into the moon's orbit. The truly historic moment will happen toward the end of 2028. With Artemis 3, humanity will set foot on the South Pole where we believe frozen water exists. The water there will not only give us life, but it will also transform into rocket fuel, launching us much deeper into the universe. That's how it is. Today, together, we have shattered all the illusions behind that mystical silver disk that was once thought to just sit there in the sky, motionless, and possess a dark side. Now, we are preparing to step onto those razor-sharp regoliths and build that great bridge extending to Mars. So, which cosmic illusion do you think we will shatter next as we expand into the universe with our inexhaustible curiosity? Think about this question for a moment. Stay on the path illuminated by science and always keep asking for more.